Well, I will say, this film's so energetic that it really does have a lot of moxie. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're talking about a brand new Netflix release, Moxie. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it, if you were excited for it, if you weren't planning on seeing it, let me know so we can discuss. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my channel out there and growing the community. And if you are new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Moxie. This stars Hadley Robinson as shy 16-year-old Vivian. Fed up with the sexist and toxic status quo at her high school, she finds inspiration from her mother's rebellious past and anonymously publishes a zine that sparks a school-wide coming-of-age revolution. Based on the book of the same name, this is directed by Amy Poehler in her second feature film, with her first being Wine Country, which was also a Netflix release. And this is a film that's heavily inspired by the Riot Grrrl movement of the 1990s. For those who aren't aware of what that is, it's an underground feminist punk rock movement that mixed feminism, politics, and punk rock. That's represented by bands such as Sleater Kinney, Bratmobile, and Bikini Kill, the latter of whom we extensively hear blasting throughout this film. Poehler plays the formerly rebellious mother of Vivian in what's a much more humane take on her cool mom character in Mean Girls. They talk very casually to one another, eat a lot of junk food for dinner, and do just about everything together. And when Vivian discovers how even cooler her mom was when she was heavily involved in the Riot Grrrl movement, Vivian resurrects that energy in her school, though anonymously, sneaking into the school early in the morning and leaving copies of her zine in the girls' bathroom, criticizing both the boys and the school's administration. Her shift from shy and off to the side to this rebellious fighter kicks off when a newer girl named Lucy, played by Elisa Pascual Pena, arrives at the school and immediately makes waves by challenging both the curriculum and the obnoxious jock named Mitchell, played by Patrick Schwarzenegger. Seeing Lucy stand up for herself, the once shy Vivian decides to do the same, becoming the silent leader of this movement. The film tries tackling a lot, trying to hit the same themes as the Riot Grrrl movement. It repeatedly pushes back at both sexual harassment and toxic masculinity, and I appreciate what it was going for. But what ultimately happens, though, is that the film tries balancing two different tones. It tries to hit all these serious issues that we find out have had traumatizing effects on these students, but it does so in this inspirational manner that's supposed to lift up spirits and get people energized. It's the sort of film that tries to position itself as a generation-defining film, just from the way each of the characters work off one another, keep pushing one another to new heights. They even have an I Am Spartacus-like moment at one point where they're all together, and you'll know exactly what that moment is when you see it. The problem is, the two tones don't mesh all that well at times, and the film really needed to lean harder in one direction or the other. And because it attempts to balance the two, it never goes beyond the surface level in a way. Characters will tick off specific grievances or raise certain issues, but more often than not, the film will move on from them as quickly as they're brought up. And some of these things are traumatizing events. One of the reoccurring issues throughout the movie is how the principal, played by Marsha Gay Harden, routinely gives Mitchell a pass for his frankly abhorrent behavior and will brush off everything as boys will be boys. If she hears the word harassment, she tries to gaslight the students into thinking that it really isn't that. A lot of the toxic culture reinforced by the school is incredibly horrifying and would leave anyone who is victimized here as incredibly scarred. And while there are times we do explore that a little, the film rarely goes as deep as it should have. There are a lot of characters we get introduced to who then get brushed off to the side not too long after they're introduced. Even Lucy, who helped set everything into motion, takes a back seat once she said her piece at the beginning of the film. And while she's often seen, it's very much in a supporting role, as opposed to the way she really broke ground in the beginning. So I was looking for something more here. That being said, I couldn't help but smile because I know it was at least coming from a good place. And the cast does a great job with the material, giving off this naturally likable energy. Hadley Robinson is a very charismatic lead, while Pena, as well as Lauren Tsai as Vivian's friend Claudia, and Nico Hiraga as her love interest Seth, were all fantastic. And it's their interactions that kept me heavily invested, as it was often sweet and at times funny, and I did enjoy when anything worked out for them, as they gave this film a ton of much needed heart. I think if the film picked a tone and stuck with it, it would resonate a lot more, because the right message was there, and there are times it really does shine. It just needed that extra push to make it great. I thought this wasn't bad. Its heart is definitely in the right place, and it definitely tackles a lot of themes that need to be addressed. It just suffered a lot from tonal issues, going back and forth between traumatizing high school drama to inspirational generation-defining drama. And because it couldn't pick a lane, it winds up just checking off boxes and rarely going beyond the surface level. Still, what makes it work is its sincerity, thanks to Poehler's direction, as well as the work of a very enjoyable cast, especially Hadley Robinson. It's their interactions that hold this film together and make the good just outweigh the bad for an enjoyable, if incredibly flawed, time. Moxie gets a 6.5 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Moxie, or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Did the story work for you? Do you want to see more films directed by Amy Poehler? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like it and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and keep having fun with film.